What's good, YouTube? It's my boy Squiddy back in another video. The Rarity Collection 25th anniversary is finally getting dropped in about a week's time, and we're finally seeing some box openings of the actual set. It's really exciting to see all these low rarity cards of high-end staples that would have been really hard for the players to accumulate on the secondary market. And Konami has finally wisened up to the idea of reprinting a set that has all these cards. But I wanted to ask the community, do you guys think this is actually worth buying? I mean, okay, this is a bit of a loaded question. Obviously, there are a lot of good cards, and it's definitely something that's worth, but we don't know if there are short prints or anything inside the set as of yet. Obviously, Konami does love their money, so they typically like doing short prints, and for some reason, they certainly like doing short prints exclusively in the North American regions. It's almost like they recognize that the North American players are just hype beasts on TCG Player and love to buy stuff out. So, I don't know, in the past couple of sets, we have had short printed stuff. Personally, I think the set is definitely a good buy. I mean, if you guys know me in person, you probably know that I never buy sealed product almost, because it's basically a gamble. You know, you're opening packs to rip a card that you want, whereas you could just pay money for the singles to buy it. And you can kind of do the same with this set. But I feel like if you're the type of player that's kind of more on a budget where you can't actually afford to drop the $80 US to actually buy some packs to get the cards that you need, then it's definitely better to wait a week or two to actually pick up the singles, because a set like this that's widely mass-produced and widely cracked will actually have the prices tank within a week or two when people get a lot of product. But that being said, the caveat is there could be short prints that are discovered later on when actually a larger number of cases are actually opened, and then by then, those cards will trickle up in price. For example, cards like Baron de Fleur, assuming that it is short print. But that being said, I still think if you guys are on a budget, it's probably better to actually hold your funds for the first couple of weeks and then pick up the single cards. Whereas if you actually have a bit of money to spend on Yu-Gi-Oh cards and you actually enjoy cracking packs, then I could actually advocate for opening this set for the sheer fact that basically every card is good in this set. And even though they're going to drop to like dollars or pennies after the set is cracked, they will still trickle up in price after about a year or a couple of months, you know, when the cards finally get a little more scarcely produced. So I think players should definitely wait for that. Instead of selling the bulk that you get from the set, you should definitely hang on to it until it goes up in price. We've seen the past couple of sets like Dual Overload, where some of the cards were literally like 10 cents and they went up to like 15, 20. For example, cards like Ancient Gear Ballista or the, Platinum Gadget, you know, cards that are very, very hard to find. And in this case, the hand traps as well, like the ghost spells and stuff, all shot up to like $10, $15 at one point, even for the ultra rare reprint alt arts. So again, there's a lot of value, I think, in these. The fact that there's so many staples in this set is definitely a good reason for people to hang on to it and then just unload it maybe a year or two when the set is out of print. And now my next question is, do you guys think that Konami is actually going to make this like an annual yearly thing? Because it seems like they're going to test this. They're testing the waters kind of with this set. And I assume they're going to make a lot of money because people will be buying this for basically every staple that was in the previous metagame. And I think this is really, really nice because not only does it allow players to get accessibility for cards, but there are also some cards that are still kind of hard to find. Like, you're never going to be able to catch up to the current meta with reprint sets like this because there will always be power creep. And for example, we have cards like Typhon, Star Crisis, or SPE Little Knight, which will still be very, very hard to find and won't be reprinted for at least the next year or two. So that being said, you know, we're kind of getting a chance to get our hands on some of the older staples, but there's still newer staples that are still going to cost money. So there's still a slight barrier of entry. It's kind of like a bittersweet for the players. I think it's nice for the players that actually play super competitive because they just invested a lot of money into those cards. So it would make no sense if those cards just immediately became accessible. But at the same time, it is a little jarring. Personally, I find that you can't access all of the cards immediately, right? Like, there's just no way for them to do that. But it's nice that we have like the staples from past format. We have Evenly Matches, Pot of Prosperity, which is the big one, Baron de Fleur, Borrowed Savage, a lot of cards that were kind of out of print that they're actually putting onto a platter for us to enjoy. So those are kind of my thoughts there. But yeah, I wanted to make this to get the community's thoughts as a whole. The other thing is obviously the rarities. They have 5 different rarities, which personally I find to be a little bit overwhelming. Like, we have quarter century secret rare, ultra rare, the new ultimate / ultra rare. We have the collector's rare. That's kind of like the new foiling with the little DT stuff. We have the prismatic secret rares as well. There's a bunch of different rarities, and it's almost overwhelming for me personally because I'm the type of old school player that actually likes higher rarities to be exclusively high rarity. For example, when we had Ultimate Rare Valors, Ultimate Rare Maxis, it was really nice to have that. And then you could also budget out your deck by playing, you know, ultra rares. But now they're kind of reprinting like star foils and quarter century rares, and then there's like the platinum secret rares. So it's kind of up to the player to decide, hey, which one is the actual max rarity? It's very confusing and it's almost overwhelming. If you guys play Magic the Gathering, then you'll know that they've been releasing a lot of product and a lot of different rarities, a lot of different frames, and it's very, very overwhelming. Like, it's hard for us to keep up. And I would have loved to see, I think, a little bit less reprints of the rarities. But that being said, it's kind of nice that the players can kind of pick and choose the rarities that they want. And now it's a lot easier to kind of bling out your deck because there are variants of certain cards that were previously only available in Ultimate Rare, for example, like Nibiru, which are now available in like a different Ultimate Rare. So there's still a noticeable distinguishment between those. But I think the fact that they did reprint a lot of these high rarities made it really hard for the collectors, especially those with high-end max rarity stuff like Effect Veiler Starfoil, which is now basically a reprint in quarter rare. The only difference is that little 25 century on the text, as well as the Effect Veiler name being an ultra rare. The rest of the card is exactly 1-to-1 for a Starfoil. So it's really, really a slap to the face for those collectors, unfortunately. Yeah, not much to say. You know, the cards are tanking in price as well on TCG Player for the original rarities, just because of the sheer fact that they're basically reprinting the exact same card. So that's a little unfortunate, but I think it's a necessary evil because as a whole, having the player base have more access to these rarities and more importantly, these card reprints is really important. So I really, really hope that Konami makes more. But yeah, what do you guys think about this set in general? Do you guys like it? Do you guys despise that they're printing a bunch of rarities? Are there anything that they can fix with the set? And yeah, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.